We got 2 minutes.
Cannot do it. Yes. And
There you go. It is 6 o'clock. I'm sure we're up to the president of the Board of Education. I'm sure you have some wonderful young people that listen to, right?
I do. And if we could, I'm going to ask for Elisha and Emma Roberts to come join us.
Sorry, the meeting is called to order. Thank you.
If I could have Elisha and Emma Roberts come up. They are third graders at Roosevelt. And they're going to join us to take the flag tonight. They're very excited. They win the contest for best masks this evening, to say the least. And as they come up, I just want to thank them for being a part of our meeting tonight. And do I understand correctly, you all are third graders at Roosevelt? So who is your teacher at Roosevelt? Okay. So do you think you all would work well in the same class together, or is it better to be apart? Better apart. Get a little separation from each other so it's not 24/7 all the time. So when you go to school, what are the kind of things you like to do at school? Okay, so you seem to be very active people. You exercise in school, you like to do that gym. Are there things you do when you're at home that are like that? When you're not at school, that you like to do things? Very nice. What about you? Oh, do you like to do gymnastics? I'm not very good at that. Well, we're really excited you guys are with us tonight. Thanks for supporting the cool masks. Those are awesome. I think I need to make But if we could all go ahead and stand, and Elisha, Emma, whenever you're ready, go ahead and lead us to the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Thank you, guys. Great job. You don't have to stick around for the rest of the meeting. Members of the board received copies of the agenda prior to the meeting. Please interject at this point that item 4.6 has been withdrawn. Will be considered later. Item 4.7 was added. You could have gotten with that, I will accept the motion for the amended agenda.
I move that we accept the agenda.
And move to accept the amended agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adopted the agenda for the evening. This is the time in our meeting when members of the audience are invited to comment on agenda items. It's not the time to speak about personnel issues or appropriate ways in which these can be addressed. If you are not sure how to do this, please ask one of us at the meeting. In your remarks, you may not refer to students by name without permission from the parent. If you would like to speak on a topic not included on the agenda, you are asked to submit your request in writing to the superintendent of schools within 3 business days prior to the scheduled date of the meeting. Now, if you would like to speak on an item included on tonight's agenda, please raise your hand. I'll request that you state your name and limit your remarks to a maximum of 5 minutes. Would you like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move to the next item of the agenda, which is our community input report. May we have some individuals here from the Dobyns-Bennett High School CyberPatriot Cybersecurity Competition Team. Welcome. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to tell you a little bit about something that's been a highlight for me this year. These three gentlemen represent three members of our CyberPatriot team this year. This is something that is new to Dobyns-Bennett. I teach the computer science and coding classes at Dobyns-Bennett. My name is Nathan Bailey, and I'll give these guys a chance to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Ty Young, I'm a senior.
I'm Logan Rogers, I'm also a senior.
I'm Dominic Bembry, I'm also a senior.
So I wanted to share a little bit about what CyberPatriot is and why we chose to do it this past fall. CyberPatriot is actually a national program sponsored by the Air Force. And there are international teams that compete, because of course our nation's Air Force bases and military bases have students that will compete in this competition as well. So these gentlemen competed with teams from all over the world. The competition is broken down into three major divisions. There's a middle school division, an open division, which these guys competed in, and an all-service division, which consists of ROTC cadets. And the primary goal here is to get students interested in STEM careers, not just cybersecurity, because, as the Air Force knows, this is a major issue for our national defense. So one of the reasons that it kind of pairs well with my class is that it requires them to do a lot of collaboration. Problem solving is big in this process. There's no written script that they follow to solve things. They have to think about how to approach a problem. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're very, very complex, as they will share later. Also, it prepares them for careers in cybersecurity. They get to know how to work with technical and security concepts, which is big. And these skills lead into a variety of technical careers, but also help make good employees, even if they are not going into a career in this field. So I'll let the gentleman here share a little bit about what the competition entailed.
So we had a total of 3 competitions, each one of them was 6 hours long. So a long time, and during that time, we were teaching projects in 3 different pieces, ranging from Windows, Windows 7, and
CyberPatriot taught us a lot of skills, and I think a really good one is teamwork, as we do individually work on images, but it's nice to help each other and just learn cooperation in a team.
Securing these images require a lot of persistence and efficiency, because you can get burnt out for 6 hours doing anything. And you had to make sure that you tackle a problem a certain way in order to benefit the team as much as you can.
I will say it's quite admirable for them to come in on Saturdays and one Friday night and give up 6 hours straight to sit at a computer and to work through this. So they devoted that time. We're missing one of our members tonight, so they had 4 that were actually working together. These are the results from each of our rounds, and you can see that each round required them to do several different tasks. There's no order to the way they approach that, and that's part of what they work on as a team, deciding how to divide up responsibility, how to approach the tasks, what to do first, and kind of how to work towards as many points as they can get. So the first round, we did really well. Out of 330 possible points, they scored 238.5. As we moved into the next round and the final round, the tasks get harder. So round two, we kind of shifted over into a different version of one of the operating systems that we were working with. Still performed well enough to rank us into the gold tier of the competition. And then the final round, I'll let Ty share a little bit about the experience with that final
I know, just looking at it, it's valid, but it's a website that they want works. But it did get more difficult to find over time. And that allowed us to get to where we were, to where we were today. We increased positions, that allowed us to get to where we were today.
So round three afterwards, we didn't know really how that was going to wash out, but we didn't know how other teams had competed, and we compete asynchronously. So there are schools all over the world that are competing in this. And after the announcement, we discovered that, hey, we did better than what we felt at the end of that day. So after the end of round three, we were ranked third overall in the state. And first place in our gold tier, 3 tiers available there, silver, gold, and platinum. So we were really excited, and I was super proud of these guys for sticking through, pushing through. And they worked to the last minute on that last competition, and it really paid off. So I wanted to give a chance for them to tell you a little bit about what their takeaways were from competing in CyberPatriot, besides just the chance to compete national or international.
So with all these different columns, it seemed like at first I always wanted to go out there one way. But as I did them more, I figured there's all these easier ways to accomplish it. Allowing me to do them quicker, which allows us to get more points.
I think CyberPatriot is just a little bit influenced because the opportunity of the teachers of skills and then we won't be able to have them at the college level. And I'm really excited that future children that it's going to experience it.
I think CyberPatriot really taught me different problem-solving skills because each different image, each different issue within each image requires a different angle to tackle at, and it really opens your mind to different ways to solve other problems that aren't even technical related.
And I think my biggest takeaway from this whole process is that it's not just those moments of learning a technical skill and things like that. It allowed us to have conversations often about college or careers. And that was really exciting for me because oftentimes in class, it's hard to carve that time out. And this really allowed, when you got 6 hours together, you can talk about a lot of things. So we just wanted to say thank you and kind of share a little bit about what we hope in the future to expand this into. Obviously, this was the first year, so we took whoever was interested and ran with it. Next year, we hope to expand the teams and to kind of diversify our group. And I wanted to share some statistics with you, which I'll let you guys, but why I think this is so important for us to expand moving forward, not only for our nation's security, but for opportunities that students discover. Thank you very much. And if you guys have any questions?
I've got one question and a comment. So first of all, I'm interested in which operating system you guys felt like was the easiest or hardest to secure and harden.
I think all of us started out doing this very familiar with Windows. That was probably the easiest for us. But I think we adjusted pretty well to that experience.
And the comment, I can't help putting in the flow from my alma mater. You notice that Cooper High School did very well. One reason for that is that there's a cybersecurity outreach center at Tennessee Tech. So I would encourage you, if you are interested in cybersecurity, to check out Tennessee Tech as a possible place to go.
you'll notice it matters.
Emphasize.
I think it's very, very, interesting timing on this, talking about this, because I just saw yesterday, in Chattanooga, Blue Cross Blue Shield, part of Blue Sky Network. The demand for cybersecurity so large that they partnered with East Tennessee State, so industry's trying to get that, filled in there. East Tennessee State is actually going to be, offering that course like just the demand for cybersecurity, positions is growing just like the statistics say. But, just seeing that happen yesterday, them announcing that, we thought we needed to hear about this. I guess I'm curious, are any of you guys having gone through this, interested in your seniors? So as you go on to school, are any of you interested in pursuing, cybersecurity as a profession?
I know that I've always gotten into a lot of booking now. And as I began college, I'm very into about what I'm doing. I do know that I really love this opportunity. I really love what I'm learning in this area and all the classes. And I can't really have more opportunities to do stuff like this. This program actually funded by some of my college friends. The KCS for main degrees, and one of them called the cybersecurity concentration, which I think I'm going to soon.
So I'm not planning on doing cybersecurity, but I do want to do computer science. And I think doing this event really helps me understand computers more, and it kind of piques my interest for the computer science field more because of it.
For our first year, it's very impressive showing, but I've got to know how far away were you guys from getting the platinum category?
I am not sure what the cutoff point was. When we were looking at those lists, it was a very fine line that second round. I would say it was in. So making that.
I'm not taking anything away. I think what you guys did is awesome. You know, like that team, you guys did a great job. Thanks for leading the team. Thanks, guys, for taking so many hours at the time, 6 hours and a lot. Got me beyond attention.
Thank you guys for representing Dobyns-Bennett, Kingsport City Schools, as well as being in competition, as well as you did tonight. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing this. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Well, that's okay. That's okay. I have a little off the consent agenda. This point, we'll entertain the motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
So if we get just point of order, I guess it's always been my understanding that we need to accept the agenda if we are accepting the consent agenda as well. Is that complicated?
That is not, my understanding from TSBA training, is we have to have a motion to accept consent agenda specific. As a member of the board, okay? Come across. So, with that, move to second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Accept the consent agenda as. Move now to our business items in section 4. The first item is the superintendent review. One of the roles defined for the Board of Education is to employ and evaluate the superintendent of schools. It is the only personnel position within the school system where we have that role. The superintendent serves as chief executive officer of the school system. He or she is responsible for the management of the schools under the board's policy and is accountable to us, the Board of Education. As a board, we engage in an annual evaluation of the superintendent. Part of our code of conduct is one of each of our individual responsibilities. We as members agree in our code of conduct to support the full administrative authority, as well as the responsibility for the superintendent requiring the staff to work within the framework of policies that are set by the board. The process of this evaluation rotates from year to year. This process this year involves surveying those who directly report to Dr. Morehouse, serving capacity in his cabinet. As President of the board, I requested Mr. Hives to lead the evaluation process this year. He will be reporting on that with you this evening. It must be noted that due to operational situations that have arisen with the COVID-19 pandemic, schools and school personnel legislatively are held harmless this year from testing methods that may be used in the evaluation process. It should also be noted that in the evaluation process, the board determines contract extension in even numbered years. Thus, there is no discussion of contract extension in this evaluation. Dr. Morehouse's contract has been extended. No conclusions or inferences should be drawn by the absence of contract extension discussion in this evaluation cycle. The board will submit an amended contract to Mike Billingsley, the city attorney, for legal approval prior to being finalized by the board. To remain within the legal obligations of approving the contract, the board will hold a special call meeting for that purpose immediately prior to our scheduled work session on March 23rd, 2021. I should briefly tell us what we've done.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. I would like to brief. Just going to give you an overview of the survey that we sent out and to whom it was sent and what it contained. Initially, we sent out a survey initially, which was my memory of just direct reports and principles. It was brought to my attention that what is actually in the procedures manual is that it's sent to the cabinet and school administrators. So therefore, we added 4 people from the original 19 to a total of 23 employees. That survey was sent out on Tuesday, February 23rd and Wednesday, February 24th to the additional 4. It was requested that the surveys be returned by the end of that week, which would be Friday, February 27th. And by that time, I received 15 surveys were completed. The surveys were done with Google Forms, and we did not collect email addresses with those forms. So we actually don't know which is the 15 out of 23 folks that returned the surveys. We don't know. We have no way of connecting the answers to the person. The survey questions were essentially identical to what we asked 2 years ago. We did have one under question 1, section D, which was for accessibility. And we did reword one question, question 1, part C, was reworded for clarity of the question that we did 2 years ago. We also stated when we sent the survey out that the long form answers, the questions 2, 3, and 4, would only be shared with the board education. And therefore, we're not sharing those publicly tonight or for any time. So the results, because of the section there, for each of the questions in part A, question 1, the 5 choices for each part were not demonstrated, developing, proficient, accomplished, and distinguished, which were assigned points from 1 through 5. And then if you look at the table, you can see the number of responses for each of those levels, for each question, and the average. And then, even though we don't, of course, know who the respondents are, as we should, we do have an average for each of the respondents across all of the questions, the parts of the question 1. And those are listed here as well. The list of employees to whom it was sent is listed in the appendix. And so I would encourage each of the board members, if they would like to talk about the House about any particular aspect of the result of this survey, to schedule a meeting directly and talk about that. And address any concerns or anything like that arising out of this survey.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Any questions or comments from Mr. Hodge? Dean?
I can't look at these things without thinking about having done decades of yearly reviews and having received decades of yearly reviews. And I can, every time I see this and this said, it's remarkable to me, and I appreciate Dr. Morehouse and just sitting through, it's like dissecting yourself to everybody in the world. So the other comment I had was, he's now 23 and we got 8 missing out. It disappoints me. And it's not addressed to anybody in here other than anybody who's not here. It's your office, it's like voting. If you don't go out and vote, I don't know how you can complain a whole lot, or how you can thump your chest and say, we're doing it. So I hope in the future that everyone will complete the evaluations, because on behalf of the superintendent, I'm sure it's extremely difficult situation to be in such a public setting. So they owe it to their leader and to the students.
I'm not sure the world is full of evaluation processes that are done in open public meetings such as this. I appreciate your comments, and I share your concern about the number of people who failed to respond to the survey. And I'm appreciative of those people.
If you didn't agree, exclude the names from public discourse, maybe it's like more responses. So the names are listed here, right?
Who it went to.
We have no idea who responded. Those are the people that direct reports and members of the cabinet are, even though we've got the survey.
Sure. I'm just saying that if you didn't publish the people's names to the public to see, it was a kind of rest to see, you might have been more of that.
I think we'll need a little bit more time to fill it out. 4 days is not very long, especially if everything's going on with activities over time. So maybe we allow, at least a full week or at least a weekend to get caught up. I think we're going to cover that more.
I think that's a fair assessment. I think we thought we were under some time pressure that we really weren't. We found out later that we weren't. And so I probably gave too quick of a deadline that actually, in fact, found out later that we were not. And as far as the name that went out to, I think accountability is supposed to be. If we expect our superintendent to have this review this as the public is accountability is available too. Here are the people who are responsible for providing this.
So my issue is not that name's not moving to us, it's that it's public. That's my issue.
Again, public input.
Okay. All right, Mr. Heiss, thank you for your work on that. And we look forward to approving many contract by the amendment, let me stipulate that there's financial adjustment between the contract. That is amended part of the contract that we are discussing. We move this to item 4.2, approval to accept the teacher focus grant with the KCS Education Foundation. Please, if you welcome Ken Baker back to the approval. I'm not sure how many hundreds you need. Welcome back.
Thank you, I appreciate that, Mr. Welch. It's, when I walked out of my life school, I thought it was my life school. It's long. That was, about 5.5 years ago. But it's my Victor and I representing the KCS Foundation, to ask for approval for, some grant money for the teachers. So we have to apply to this before that. I on the subcommittee, the grant committee for the foundation, and, so it's a privilege to read about what teachers want to do, and our mission is to support innovative projects. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Mr. Christian Pepper from Washington Elementary proposed, funding of the Patriot Pulse percussion ensemble. I will not say that. That's in a row. With the purchase of 12 wanted drums, 3 sizes. And I think his mission is quite stellar, because it's to inspire student creativity, goal setting, tenacity, teamwork, and confidence. And we certainly want that in all of our students. We have to start that at the elementary level. As a former music teacher, I want my music, I see this as laying groundwork, not just for band, as he references in his proposal, but for any of the musical performing groups, because it develops a sense of teamwork. And so it's children that participate in this ensemble will not all be professionals, we know that, but perhaps they will play an instrument in band or orchestra, or perhaps they should learn to play. But they're going to learn about teamwork and commit, and it's going to build confidence. And I strongly believe that's what we ought to do for our students. And so the grant is for $2,072. We are asking for your acceptance of that on the basis.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. The recommended action is for the board to accept teacher focus grant and the Union City School Education Foundation in the amount of $2,072. Any discussion concerning this?
I have a question. It says two different things, and one is it says the drums are gonna be introduced in the music class, and then it says it's gonna be focused with the Patriot Pulse percussion ensemble. So all the children are gonna be exposed to these drums, we're not just limiting it to, the old or whatever drums, they'll all be exposed.
That's my understanding that, you incorporated these in the music class. And we have other elementary schools that do this with various instruments, some drums, some, orchestras, things like that. So they would be exposed. I think we would have, as you like, this year, an extracurricular group, on the same meeting, perhaps after school, of those schools.
That's only, everybody has an opportunity.
We have a motion if we accept the recommended action. Moved, seconded, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed. Davis, I look forward to the picture of you playing the drum.
You'll get it, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you.
We appreciate the work of the foundation does. They're doing a great program.
Thank you.
Mr. Fry, that makes sure the water comes join us. Item 4.3, approval to award bids for Dobyns-Bennett High School electrical switchgear replacement.
So a couple months ago, you approved, agreement with, Boston Engineering to engineer work for the specifications for this project. High school, that's for the building. We took the bid on March the 4th. There was just one bid submitted by Import Armstrong. The amount of that bid was $6,250. The public engineering has reviewed this bid, has decided that it's a satisfactory bid, a qualified bid to do this work. We will real time sensitive project,
said that the contractor is relatively certain that we can have that equipment in place in order to make that switch. That will still start that way.
They'll probably do it some exterior, lights on the outside, of the building. It won't affect the aesthetic, like, it won't affect the aesthetic, it won't affect the ceiling house, it won't affect, the middle, it won't affect the meeting center. I do not believe it affects the CPE building or the main building. Just looking at the building and, how should be out for that, while one is looking in place. We're anticipating somewhere between mid June and July. Depends on when we get the equipment. We're allowed a month window, but they're probably getting two. I don't think it'll affect that. It's not going to affect the same. Will it also be? It will affect the cafeteria at a certain time.
Maybe the half, it's the half, the cafeteria be the first.
I would think it would be cafeteria, but the time in it.
That's what.
Yes.
Knowing it's gonna affect, because that will affect on the rest. The little piece
We don't even know if we're having fun with
of it. Wishful thinking, wishful thinking. Thank you.
Remember that, make a motion to justify recommended action.
Moved.
Moved, Mr. Dean, Mr. Byers, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed unanimously. Item four, budget amendment number 2, right?
So we have the second budget amendment for the, year, three things that doesn't make sure we're efficient purposes at this time, but, that's a capital project, that we would. So I'll go through these items on the, general purpose, fund first. First item has to do with our special education high cost funds. These are funds that we receive every year from the state of Tennessee due to some of the high cost, expenses that we incur from our special education students. Mainly we have one-on-one teacher assistance with some of the students. We estimated it was about $40,000 coming in at $50,000. The second item is, Project CARES Act funding, for, one guys in the technology grant, for basically the two items, the technology device that we purchased, is taking that funding for additional items. The two items that we purchased were already included in our regular budget, so, that dollar amount is $242,300. In addition to that, there's a student activity grant of about $7,100. So that total $250,400. The next three items are some donations from our PTA organizations. The first one has to do with John Adams Elementary. They received a donation of $3,950 from their PTA. This is for the installation of a concrete pad for a basketball court for the program. So they have a donation of $3,950. The second is a donation from the Robson PTO in $50,000. This is for the upgrade the playground to install 3K playground. We have a authorized with architect on that. We are in the process of getting that in the next couple of weeks. The third item is a donation from the Liberty PTA for $53,428 for the upgrade to their playground, which is a complete upgrade to their playground. That's also
next item has to do with, Northern State Field Development courses. These were some courses that were held on the Dobyns-Bennett campus. As opposed to being held at Northern State, and, they, contributed $5,924 for our teachers to facilitate these courses. So we wanted to, with that amount. Another item is a small grant that we received by EDXL for the Field Society, $1,440 for purchases of chemicals and related supplies. And, miscellaneous item, EDXL has requested grant for $2,000 for the critical travel account to their supply. If you can imagine, there's probably a whole lot of travel that's been taking place this year. So that's all the items for the general purpose school fund. Federal projects fund, this is something that I normally bring to the board later in the year. It's sort of a cleanup type item. I did want to bring it earlier this year, in light of that, part of the money that's in this is money that will be talking about in our next item to, for a bonus for our employees, so we can do this, so these discussions be appropriated. Right now, our federal projects fund stands at a total amount of $5,472,017. There are 5 additional grants that have been received, and these grants in the federal projects fund are generally housing grants that also receive different amounts. We just have to do the application process and you can approve those sort of things. So, reopening and program support grant for $100,000. IDA, special education reduction grant for $20,000. IDA partnership for certificate change for preschool, $55,925. Summer grant for K-12 for $76,042. And the large grant is the ESSER 2.0 grant, which is $7 million. It's $7,603,109. And I was looked at it like, round it up. And then there were 2 grants that we originally budgeted that we did not receive with a couple of ideas. I did want to elaborate a little bit more on the ESSER 2.0 grant. We have not finalized the application for that grant. But as a general breakdown of what we've been in this grant, it does not have to be related to so replacing the opposite of the tower with the qualified students that estimated at $500,000. The playground as well, fortunately, is thus not spent on treatment activities, so $350,000 for that. $550,000 to fund the days that our employees have had off, days that we have to go receive the COVID vaccinations. The next item, in addition to the $308,500 that we received from the state, which I did not get the general purpose budget for because it doesn't come into the PPP funds, and we were already, our estimate for PPP funds was already greater than what we received, so I did not bring in the general purpose budget for that. It's not necessary. But the $1 billion of these funds, we spent on a bonus for all of our employees, which is the next item on the agenda. million on upgrades to the southern floor, which is a six system. This is not the total dollar amount that it will take to do that. But it is a dollar amount that we plug into this grant, the other portion of that. And it's $2.2 million for level costs. Fraction type expenditures, for students and people. It's a dollar out of that. That'll make our revised federal project fund $13,264,260. Our school special projects fund, these are some grants that don't fit into the federal projects. We had the Mount Rural Rural Life Grant for the past couple of years. This is that grant. We did not pay that initially. We now funded the sewer that this year will be $101,179. We've got a couple of other new grants, possibly $10,000 and a maintenance matter training grant for $33,400. In addition to that, we had some donations for some of our programs through some local churches and businesses and individuals. The coordinated school health grant. These are, I've gone a little bit high on some of these things because we have some couple of other donations coming to the year that increasing that by $5,500. Family Resource Center grant donation of $33,000, which is over half of the grant, $50,000 grant. And Homes Education Program, $10,000. And then there's some other adjustments, minor adjustments for our pre-K grant in our state school. We're moving the $50,000 that we had originally budgeted for the summer STEM program. In light of all the summer activities that are taking place around all of the schools this summer, the revised total on the school special project is $1,226,725. So those are our normal budget amendments that we do every year. I may have some minor revisions to some of those that I may have to bring back to the next May board meeting. One of the items, the next item is something that we don't do very often, but this is necessary in order to clean up some of our capital projects that we have on our books, that we have some excess funding in, and move those excess funds to some current projects. One of the reasons that we use up the excess funds on some of these projects is if item is approved, if there's a contingency of a little $17,000, hopefully we won't spend it at $17,000. But what we don't see is we let that over and we that. So, school improvements project that we had back in fiscal year 17, came with some bond funds in 2016. There's remaining balance in this account, $193,621. This project funded a new cooling tower at Boston Elementary. It replaced the common center roof, and it funded the ADA accessibility and the bottom of the track. We've had on our books for a number of years. This project, 1736, is a newer project than the one we originally had. The one we originally had probably went back to the 1340 school year. But this was a fund that was set aside at some point to do some improvements to the Overlook Road and behind the school. We just never had done that. Not saying that there not need to be some improvements at that location, but we don't have any plans at this time, and we just feel like it's time to close this project out and move this fund
Sure. If memory serves, Overlook Road, I think you know the old one. Is that not the road that had buses getting down?
Well, the Oakland Road is the road that goes right behind the.
Right.
It goes right behind the cafeteria, it goes right behind, it goes right behind. The parking back there for people, and that's what they do, I think they do that, pick up and drop off back there.
I thought I remember that's what we allocated this is because buses were having a hard time back there.
I don't necessarily think it was that the buses were having just such a hard time, it's just that, it's not a real wide road, it's, you know, it's just.
No, I've been on, I know the road is terrible, but that's why I was wondering if that was the impetus behind this allocating. That's what I'm saying is, go ahead, if you're gonna.
Well, this project actually probably goes back, 12 years, I mean, back at the time we were actually purchasing property back there. One time we were talking about bringing in from the east side of Overlook, actually making a roundabout in that area, where this would be for car pickup. Where there's coming in from the east side, circle around the roundabout, and actually that would be, when you actually be able to drive around it, that's what we have. So, we just never, the project just never got off the ground, and, maybe we'll come back to it in the future, but that's what we're recommending for this project at this point. It's good, it's nice to, account for the social work. Dollars to the trash upgrades, there are $64,995 left in this account, total cost of funding of $1,010,000. We're recommending to do this to the Southern North Renovation account. Another general, school maintenance project that was funded from bonds for 2017-18. Total funding is $2,036,000. The balance remaining is $69,800. The expense of this project funded, partial replacement of the Boston entry roof, replacement of the artificial curtain and the director's office podium, and funding for the Dobyns-Bennett transfer for the replacement project that we did a couple of years ago. This next account, the $1 million that came from the 2019 bond funds that we originally planned to spend on replacement of last year. And we made appropriation from our fund balance, and we anticipate coming back and repaying ourselves from fund balance with these funds. Our fund balance at that time was fairly healthy, it still is. And we just felt like we were going ahead and fund the replacement of that roof out of our fund balance, and with these funds, our funds, we could spend on these capital projects that we knew that we had to sort of for Dobyns-Bennett renovation and innovation last year coming up, and then we just take these money for that. So recommend to do this for the project. Speaking of Robinson Roof, total funding from our fund balance of $1,000,700, and the balance in there for $56,870, which is that recommended to move these funds $15,000 to a severe renovation account. We've had some expenses for all the architectural work at school, and also for the Dobyns-Bennett renovation account. Our Dobyns-Bennett Science and Technology Center, total funding of $23,527,044, which came from 2012, 2014 bonds, $42,875,000 came from the Southern County bond funds, about $2,000 from our general fund. In addition, there's been $643,175 in the fund that we allocated to this project. The funding that we got from Sullivan County, is more than $22,875,000, but $23,000, $24,000
that money that was idle, that idle money that we had on that was invested by the city for, and they agreed at that time that the utility funds that we earned on those idle funds would be reallocated back to our capital project. So in total, there's been almost $750,000 in interest earnings. You know, it took us a year and a half to get that project built, so we started out with $22 million, and as the money got $3 million on the money. So, but a significant amount of interest earnings on this project. So there's a balance in that project between contingencies in that project and the interest earnings. There's a balance of $1,425,044 that we're asking to transfer from that to the social project. I mentioned the SPEAR project that we'd like to establish for $15,000, a balance implementation project that we'd like to establish in $40,700. And these are just the funding project fees that we've already funded with the project. We do have an account that we've had on our books for a few years now. It's called Future School Capital Projects. And that's got $1,006,000 in it. There are interest earnings in that account, $69,100. So we're asking to increase the budget in that account to $1,075,000. That's where we're going to pay for the Dobyns-Bennett Switchgear that we just approved. And that's where we pay for the Johnson and the Lincoln pre-K playground. The largest portion of the Lincoln playground will be covered with FFRA money, but the pre-K portion and the pre-K Johnson playground will be covered with and then the rest will be so the North project right now is funding of $1.1 million. There's a little over 36,000 interest earnings in this project. We've had two extensions on that project so far. Purpose and Will did a facility study on that project 30 years ago, and we've had some preliminary architect fees from Canterbury West on that project. We'll probably be bringing back more in the next couple of months. A revised architect list from Canterbury West and the further architect work and big package on that project. We are requesting to transfer $2,956,460 to that project, which will make total revenue in that project $4,089,746. Take all of our old available funds to do this project to at least that much of this project and the project is not breaking all of the project. But that'll clean up several old projects and get new projects established for the February work. I know that a whole lot of numbers. Wow, that is
You said, is that an additional $3 million to that $4 million? So it'd be $7.
oh, yes, yeah, we have to, yes.
I guess I need some clarification because in hearing everything, I thought in January, we voted to approve engineering contracts to look at the playground, not to invest in the playground. But based on what you're saying in the budget, it sounds like you are investing in the playground. That's two different things. We talked about an engineering plan, not the whole playground. But it sounds like this budget has a playground in it as part of the budget spending.
The budget amendment has the playgrounds, is that correct, Mr. Pryor? engineering design, funding for the engineering design. If we approve budget amendment, we would be approving funding.
But that is, that's just the budget, that's not anything. So expenditures for that. Out the bid.
Right, so we're still talking $5 million, $250,000, et cetera, on a playground. Then we are basically unanimously saying, if we approve this budget amendment, we're agreeing to spend that, which means then we're taking funds from other projects the school could be using. And we all agree on it, we're talking to the city on it, we'll fund some of these playgrounds because they're not only being used by KCS. So that's kind of where my heartburn's coming, is we all agree the playgrounds are important to the schools, but is Kingsport City fully responsible for those playgrounds? We voted to have the engineering, but we did not vote for that $100,000, $100, et cetera, for that the playgrounds to be installed. And I feel like if we do that, this budget, that was part of the whole.
You may, if you wish, you may move to amend the budget amendment to remove playgrounds from that. We can vote on that.
I'm getting around with moving the playgrounds from this budget and everything, clearing up the other projects and then coming back and letting us have a discussion on the playgrounds at a future.
What's needed right now is that the council keep the school capital project. That account currently has $6,000. That's where we are proposing to pay for the volunteers for the year. And then after that, $320,000, there's still $600,000 left in that account. That is spent on various items. That's where we have plans on paying for the upgrade to the program. And also part of this, what other money is, what we're programming to that is to fund the K-12 portion of the Lincoln program. We did approve the motion back, we did approve the architect contract back in January to develop specifications, and to bid for the projects. We are getting ready to send bids out for those projects. Engineering, architecture work is 95% complete. Those will be going out the bid in the next week or so. We will bring that back to the board of education to approve those bids. At that time, and the funding will be in these monies that are here. Does need to have to approve that bid. So we do need to approve the total funding of the $7.6 million right now. We are running into that application to fund the local budget. So, not that that could be. It could be that, not that it could be. It could be a great thing like that, happen like that. That doesn't say it's so, we have to spend that money on it. But we need to be approved from the state to spend the money on that, and we could turn back at a later date if we decide that's not what we're going to do. If we get to spend that money on more KCS. What's the estimate on that?
It's also going to windows at some of the schools that don't have any budget, like windows, the roof replacement, so that money could go towards those projects or not.
The extra 2.0 million,
No, the extra,
Oh, this
the
money-
extra money I'm not as worried about.
this money right here is our local.
And I'm not having a hard time with the extra money, but I consider it too much too, as one of the three, and I don't have a problem. with
That's what we were trying to keep from doing.
And the extra money, if that's what you're going to do, the Lincoln playground, they've already used that money. But we keep saying the Jefferson playground, the Johnson playground, this playground, that playground, using our budget funds, and that's not necessarily been approved. That's one kind of, I think that's a discussion, exactly what $100, or when we spend it elsewhere. And I think that's the part we need to at least have a presentation, so we can come back and have a more in-depth conversation with the board as to where we want to go. I don't know how to word that, so you can get your budget, to the next phase, approval, but that would be my proposal, is that we can move to amend that somehow, so we can have discussion with you as to how to decide for those dollars.
So just so I understand, would that be the Johnson and Lincoln playgrounds including Adams basketball court, or? No, that's a donation. So just Johnson,
And mention the Jefferson playground, which we're gonna see if we can really get that done. But it's not even been approved.
This is strictly Lincoln playground and Johnson Creek playground.
I guess I had questions about, because I know we have extra money left over from the DD for, $1.4 million roughly. And there was actually additional stuff that we were going to do. I'm guessing the roundabouts coming out of that money too.
The roundabout will either come, depending on what the process on that, the roundabout will either come out of the speed capital process money, or it will come out of our current year operating $300,000.
Because some of the 1.4 was, it wasn't just to build a building, but there was other parts of the building to change, the view, the look, the aesthetic, there was a bunch of other ancillary stuff that if the budget still had in there, that those upgrades were going to occur as well. And I guess it did, and that's what we were getting funds.
Well, there was some value engineering that was, not, that was, the bulk of this is that, there was over $1 million contingency in this. So, a big portion of it is.
So it looks like the bulk of all this stuff is left over based on contingency, increase in interest. By the way, I'd love to come money to the city, looking at that right, but this kind of interest, that's the question.
Well,
True.
I mean, it, 1.5%. It's not like they're investing in 10%.
It does seem a bit odd that you make interest on stuff that's still being paid interest on the back end for the bond issue. That it does seem like that should get rebate back to the bond holders, right, or the bond issuer to reduce that debt.
There's some arbitrage federal tax laws that have to be applied.
Okay. I'm just saying, if I'm reading the story that Rick's gonna write up, I see this interest being generated by revenue made off bonds that were issued by the county. If I'm a county, I'm gonna say that's kind of our money. So I'm just trying to make sure that we properly communicate what that looks like, and that this was agreed upon before, right? So that the county issued these bonds beforehand, the city agreed upon this, all parties involved agreed upon this money. And they realized that if in the event that interest was accrued, that would be retained by the receiver of those funds.
I don't know that there's any tax thing, but the first reason the bond fund is split between the municipalities and the corporate
So that's what I mean. So Sullivan County, they received some, they invested, I'm guessing as well, Bristol invested as well. Right. So they made some interest on the back end probably. I'm just wanting to make sure because
when the county does it, go, hey, that's all, that's stuff that we earn, we're paying taxes, actually, all of us are paying taxes.
The other thing that 20 million of the person that we got out of that bond fund. Was it our bank account for that house?
It's in bank account for-
It's our bank account for that house. Right, and then the transfer directly back to the county for the
So let me swing back to the issue on the floor with Mr. Myers' concerns regarding the playground. If we leave the amendment as it currently reads, are we then committed to the playground, the dress up concern? Are we committed to the playground as listed there? Or would we have another opportunity to consider those items?
In my opinion, what I said in here is that our plan is at this time, Switchgear and playground from these money. Remember, there's already, $6,000 that is appropriate to this project. But that's just the plan. It is not, I don't think there's any way to do that.
We would then, at that point, have to approve, submitting, approve the contract.
I anticipate that we will, I have to look out the schedule, I believe the schedule right now is to bring back to this board at the April board meeting, approval of contracts for those subjects.
We would prepare for discussion on that contract. Is that correct? Yes. Are you comfortable with that? I want to make sure you're.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that, because I really feel like we didn't have time to discuss that before.
I understand, yeah. So we can leave the wording as is.
You got words, and I'm comfortable with the money being used for the.
So we're good. One other question is probably before we move to, given the next item on the, has to do with we need to move on to this next item and approve that since there is moving on funding.
If you would like to, the reason we have this first is that with the approval of this, it puts some money in place. To be able to pay for that. If you'd like to go ahead and present what the details of that are before you approve it, and then approve that subsequently.
I would feel more comfortable.
Okay. So
we're going to temporarily pay for that budget amendment, and we'll come back to it immediately after consideration of the next item.
So, in January, State Tennessee held a special legislative session, and one of the items came out of that was funding for, paying to teachers, and one-time funding for teachers for the current fiscal year. Basically, that was an adjustment, a 2% adjustment to the salary component of the GDP component. They read those numbers and came up with a new GDP amount, subtracted off our original allocation, and divided that by 50. Because it's retroactive to January 1. And that funding that P4 City School is receiving for that is $308,500. Actually, they benefits of about $46,000. That leaves about $263,000 remaining to pay to licensed personnel, which in our case is 630 people. That includes all licensed teachers and nurses. They all stay licensed also. this is for, we're cutting a portion of this out of, maybe portion of this out of the SAP 100 for additional duties such as employees, such as for beyond the normal duties due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We just feel like, the administration feels like that $416 is not an adequate amount for the amount of work that these people have done. We also feel that not only the teachers and licensed personnel deserve these funds, but all KCS employees deserve these funds. Teachers, bus drivers, custodians, school nutrition workers, school secretaries. So we're recommending that we offer the board authorized substitute levels of $1,000 to all full-time employees and $500 to all part-time employees. If these people were hired before January 1st, 2021. If they were hired after January 1st, 2021, if they were hired January 1st, 2021, or by March 12th, which is this Friday, that does be $500 for full-time employees and $250 for part-time employees. My plan is that this is approved, that will make this as a separate one-time lump sum payment on April the 16th to these individuals if they are currently still employed on April the 9th. The total cost of this is going to be just short of $1.3 million, $1,287,300. We will fund a portion of that for teachers and licensed personnel out of the $380,500 retention state, and approximately $1 million, a little less than $1 million will be fund out of the retention support.
Some of these legal board members, they $500 bonus. I have no authorization to sign anything, but, $500 isn't a half of your salary for us.
So the recommended action on item 4.5 is to approve the funds of all people city employees. Additionally, I'd like to add the recommended action in the board capacity. The recommended action is to approve the funds of all people city employees due to the COVID-19 pandemic in the board capacity.
I absolutely approve such.
So we got-
I love it.
All right.
Discussion.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have-
So we're assuming that everybody, all employees, licensed employees, have done the exact same amount of work essentially. And everybody's getting paid the same bonus. Do we know that to be, I guess I'm looking at you, Dave. There's no, I know way to tease out people that have gone beyond the Call of Duty. Everybody's gone beyond Call of Duty. It's not unique for the school system. Everybody in our society is going beyond Call of Duty. My question is, I guess what I'm trying to get to essentially is people that have really gone hard at this are going to get $1,000, and people that haven't gone nearly as hard at it are going to get $1,000. Is there any anticipation of damage to morale because of that? Is that thing that you've been talked about?
I would anticipate that this is not well, I think that everybody wants to on degrees of struggle that people have gone through would be incredibly difficult. And even in that side, how do you quantify how much less trouble or how much more trouble someone did to quantify that, right? And so I think that going above, we basically more than doubled the loans that the state gave. And to be able to do that, I think that's the thing that teachers need to do is, and it's really not even a dollar amount. You can say, hey, look, we think you did X number. I mean, in this case, I think that we're saying you more than double what the state gave in the form of this bonus, and we know. I mean, if we could spend money like the federal government, we could probably come up with a much larger number than that. But in this scenario, I think that to try to keep that out probably has the potential to create more animosity than less.
And the thing is, my question came about as a result of the spreadsheet that we were sent around the meeting. People went around and meet with different folks about what their questions were, and that was something I saw a few times. I was concerned that everybody's being treated exactly the same. Some people were really working hard on it, others weren't. I mean, that was
Well, I do think that we would, I mean, from that standpoint, I do think we try to separate out that if you were hired after January, the amount of the number of days that you went through the teeth of this is different than the person who was here at day one.
Right.
And so I do think we try to recognize that there are probably some people that we hired after that. It's been tough, but they've not had to endure as long as some of them.
These things, I realize these things just happen. And there's no way to quantify a lot of things. I just hope that the leadership within our system on a one-on-one level make sure that those people that they know the benefit have done more than others, that they at least were verbally recognized by their leadership. This is a broad brush, and but we don't have any options of it. And I certainly agree with it. It's just that I always get concerned about the people that are working really hard and others are floating the whole boat up, and other people ain't rolling as hard as they should be. So the only way to do it, I think, is for that person's direct leader to have conversations with them, show them how they appreciate it. And the reason I think this is really important is something we've talked about is flight risk. I always call it other important teachers. Specifically, STEM teachers. John City's paying more versus paying more, whatever the situation might be. I don't believe you lose a lot of people because of that. I think you lose people because they don't feel appreciated and they don't feel like they don't enjoy where they work. And culture is what we're talking about. And I think we've got to work hard to this thing to make sure culturally they understand how much you do appreciate it. It's not as simple as writing $1,000 check. $1,000 is a lot of money, $500. And it is a show of appreciation. But I do think that leaders, when I say leaders, I'm assuming principals. But that those discussions are had. That it's not just as simple. Well, you got to love. That's my position.
I think it's the perfect way to do that, right? I mean, in lack of anything else, all we have really is money. And that's the only way to recognize it, at least uniformly. I totally understand and appreciate you talking about it. If you look at it conversely, how many of the parents and guardians of these children would continuously give of their tax dollars directly to these people to say thank you, right? And that's all really we have, that in our own words and our own actions and that. And I think, I hope it's interesting. I hope it's reflexive. People look at this and say, I do my part this year as a one-off. I do pray we never go through this again, ever. But in the event that we are, at least we have learned things
do, what not to do. And hopefully that's not forgotten, either, write it down somewhere. And, we continue to say thank you to those people who have gone above and beyond, because it is everyone doing above and beyond that got us to this.
Well, the thing that I would say, using it on your sports guy, I mean, if you think about basketball, you got a guy that averages 20 points a game, another guy that averages 10 points a game, another guy that gets 5 rebounds. Who won the game? It takes everybody doing their thing to win the game, and in that, yeah, not everybody scores 20 points, but you still have to have a guy that averages 4 points a game, scores 4 points to be able to win the game. And so everybody in here, and I would say being in school, talking to them, people choose to be with us. Yes, I mean, we offer competitive salary, tops in our region, among the top teams in the state. It's not just the salary, to your point, that why people work. Ms. Guthrie, when she goes to recruiting things, the first question that people ask isn't salary. You know, it's what kind of supports do you have for new teachers? What kinds of opportunities do I have for advancement? What kinds of things do you do around professional development? Now, not that salary is not, you know, in those maybe top 3, but yes, there's lots of things that come back to that. Is culture just as important as it is around compensation? And so that's really important. And as I go around buildings, I've not seen anybody not have a hand on the board, rolling like crazy in the middle of this. So, but I appreciate the
Well, it goes back to my original thought about meetings ago. It's who we want to be the school system. And we need to fight tooth and nail to be who we've been and even better tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to slip into this level of mediocrity that concerns me. So I think it needs to be continued to baked into everything we do with the school system to make sure that we realize the identity that we have shot for. We don't lower the bar. It's something we got to fight on to do. And this kind of falls into that category. Y'all, you're going to have to hear me say that a couple of times.
That's all right. Get crazy. We're good.
Just, yeah, that's fine. I sympathize with you, and I agree with you. Merit-based compensation. I would pose the system to a single lane compensation system. Precisely for that reason. I think one of the reward on best teachers. Unfortunately, for better than this, merit-based compensation is not part of the culture. That's one comment. Another comment is just really even though we didn't feel like the state $460 and laws the administration. I think we all acknowledge that even $1,000 is not adequate for whether this but please accept it as
part of it.
All right, so the Myers has made a motion, we went into discussion without a second. There's a second. Second. So, recommended action again is to approve the bond of school employees, so, thank you. Again, recommended action is to approve the budget of all City school employees for additional use to perform due to COVID-19 pandemic. Then we will approve budget amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously. Now we'll go back to approving budget amendment. none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passed unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Discuss reading. Approval of extension of emergency paid leave. An item was added to the agenda.
Thank you. Yes, we brought to you, earlier, year after the break, and, we have to extend the emergency leave, through the end of March. And so we're at that point, extend it through the rest of the year. We can extend it out to the rest of the school year, just pending some further information from the health department, and see where we were at that time, federal government, that optional basis to the end of March, so we can follow the step with that, see where we were. And I landscape being very similar to what we were, we anticipate that there's no quarantine, although, vaccines are out, vaccines are getting done. There will be less of that moving forward, so I think that this will be less, but there will still be people, whether they themselves are in quarantine, and haven't been vaccinated, or their children are quarantined. Vaccinated, getting a vaccine, guarantee children, we anticipate this going on through the end of this school year. And we want to send that, so we can send that to the end of the school year, many of the school years, obviously, and then maybe that some of the people, we kind of wanted to see what we were at this time to evaluate, so something we needed to like to do. But I would recommend that that is something we extend to the end of the school year. For our folks, again, not adding to the number of days, but simply extending that out.
The recommended action is to approve the extension of emergency paid leave coverage for the June 30th, 2021. Board members have comments, questions? Regarding that?
My understanding is people that avail themselves of the second shot, we should not have to go into this, even if they can contact on the first. Direct contact with somebody, with the public,
That is why we can go through this after.
to be better. So do you know how many people have availed themselves of this so far?
Not completely, I know that we've had, 140, a little less than 20, days that they, we vaccinated, but it's not the people who feel themselves from our days. We've had, I don't think the health plan, I understand it's not broken that out. So they haven't really broken that out by district, because that was solely county. I don't have a specific number just for KCS, but when we did the original survey, after coming to the very, very response rate, 90%.
The responders, about 90% said they.
We're expressing interest. So we, I think we have a fair number of our employees are or not been vaccinated.
No, I'm just wondering how many avail themselves of this leave prior, how much we anticipate in the future, considering that this, you know, you can run plus and out and figure out, well, hey, we may not get hardly anybody to avail themselves.
I suspect that you're going to see probably more of it is related to children. It's related to like children who are quarantined, classrooms, and as a parent, they have to stay home and care for them, is what I'm still anticipating.
Okay.
A larger number, there may be some individuals, but I'm thinking that.
Is it 14? No. Thank you. No. We're still asking. We still have one for children. And that's within 50. I apologize. No. So it's within 50 feet for 15 minutes. No, it's not consistent. So 6 feet. 6 feet, I'm sorry. Just 6 feet for 15 minutes. Because I know this is a question we get, so I apologize. This is pretty innocuous thing, but we'll get a lot of that on listeners that want to know this stuff. Yeah. So we still, the quarantine still applies to students. And it's 16, 15 minutes, and go through contact tracing and have the watch and monitor. So it's correct. If you can test out at day 7, come back at day 8, you have a negative at day 7. Our Sullivan County Health Department did not do this. So it's 10 days.
Doesn't change. We had discussed this. We had said that they test out day 7 and come back to vacation. Is that not the case anymore?
Right now, what we say is in 10 days. That's what the Sullivan County Health Department says.
That's changed. There are recommended actions to approve the extension of emergency rate leave for June 30, 2020. Second. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. And it's the business section. Brings us to the committee reports. Thank you, Ms. Gilson. Before Julie gets her, we can jump in. All right. Our courthouse now will be traveling to Nashville tomorrow. Unless he gets the train, I'll decide to show up. I want to bring your attention to 2 bills in particular. I think we should be paying attention to. One is House Bill 752. So it's Patriot Senate Bill 40. It would extend the dual enrollment tuition credit from 2 classes to 4 classes. Well, I think it's considerably bolster our similar type of and that bill is moving on. House Bill 48, Senate Bill 56, is the one we mentioned earlier, having to do with 80% of the tax revenue from privilege tax on sports games to the capital project school. Those bills, that bill is also moving on in both the House and the Senate. But there is another bill that's highly similar to it that works on other things take place. So there will probably be some merger of those two. Those two are to give you an idea, Sullivan County would receive on House Bill 48, Sullivan County would receive Now, Ms. Byers.
I was gonna let you all know my purpose of having a committee report this time. You have to catch me next time, but I do have one. Visit Kingsport's not meeting currently, they haven't met all year, so no updates on that one. I do hope everybody enjoyed this songwriter thing. And Kathy's not meeting until May, so there's still support for adolescent pregnancy people if they need it at the health department, but there's no active meeting because the health department is a little busy these days with making sure everybody's getting vaccinated. So high priority, not saying that pregnancy and teens is not. But never fail, the diversity committees are continuing, and our next meetings are actually tomorrow and Thursday. Because it's abbreviated version from February. It was Black History Month, in case nobody knew that. It might have been on a billboard or the TV or the newspaper every now and then. But February was Black History Month. Kingsport Times News did a really great job on highlighting individual people throughout the month of accomplishments that they have. We actually, none of our diversity committees met in February because we wanted to focus on all the fabulous things happening. So the one thing I want to highlight is because I thought school, Eastman always has a Black History Month essay contest. The kids have to submit an essay. Usually it's done in November. This year it was done over Christmas break and then they were voted. The kids had to give their essays online, but we talked to the top 5, gave their essays online. 3 of those top 5 kids were Dobyns-Bennett students. So kudos to Dobyns-Bennett, and they really research STEM, African American heritage people, and write it very well, speak it very well, and learn a little bit more about Black history. The other thing is, I guess having a child in the school, and I know I don't get information back from him to me, so I do stop the daily TV announcements, so I know what's going on. He would be a board member, they know, but, we don't know all the details of what's going on in the schools. So I did see that there was a Black History Month presentation. And so I contacted the school to see if they minded it, like crash. It was actually hosted by the Young Democrats Club. So I walked in and, introduced myself as just a person. Of course, excited to feel that. No, it's perfect. One of those get really nervous. But it was cool for me to sit there with the Young Democrats, listening to this group of kids, very knowledgeable in what's going on in the political world around them. But then they highlighted about 25 different Black people that some are living, some are no longer living, some are way past their time. But the amount of enthusiasm that this group of students have about learning Black history, trying to level the diversity playing field per se in school. And I guess what was more intriguing to me is it was not a predominantly Black group of children. So it meant that people, and there were people of the Asian descent and some Caucasian, there were some regular, I know there's some Chinese Americans in there. So it was a kind of a diverse group, but they were all still very proud of the Black heritage that we had, and they were willing to share it with everybody else. And I would say there were probably 35 students in that room to stay after class and learn about that. And so I was glad I was allowed to crash their thing and learn more about Black history. But it's out there, and baby steps, but it's still steps. It's progress forward. So see, pretty short.
Thank you. Mr. Hyde had his report earlier this evening. Any other committee reports? Anything else? We'll have.
Yes, I have several things to share with you. First off, I want to say thank you to our community for supporting teachers in getting their vaccinations. Last Friday was just went really well. Smooth Friday and Saturday. From also the family heads, people provided by went very smooth. I want to say thank you to Mr. True, the Lounge, for helping to coordinate down there. We had leadership there helping to direct traffic and coordinate. And Dick Johnston, I would get loud incessantly if I don't mention Dick Johnston also in helping coordinate that event. And so just really grateful for everyone for supporting our teachers getting back. As I said, 2 weeks after this Friday, those teachers that get vaccinated, we'll be able to get out of that quarantine for our staff, which is allows us to stabilize the workforce a lot better. Want to say you had mentioned our legislative trip, and so we're looking forward to talking with our legislators as we work with them. As we start moving forward now, want to we're excited about what the spring holds. If trends continue, what graduation could potentially look like, what prom could look like. We're trying not to make too many declarative statements here in March about what things are going to look like in May. Because if we continue the trend, then we keep moving closer to normal. Okay. But as we talk about that, as we move over the course of this year, to be able to, March 16th is the 1-year anniversary of when we shut and started. So now that we're starting to move forward, what have we learned in the past year? What have we built capacity around? And one of those areas that we want to, try to explore a little bit is
virtual piece of education that we've done over this past year, that there's, we, as the time went along, we got better with that, and we built capacity. We also know that there were some students that struggled in there, but there was also some students that were successful in that environment. And so here in the spring, as we're building budgets, as we're planning, is that if we're gonna, what kind of interest is there out there? If this continues, if we were to have this and we were to plan on that being curriculum that keeps our kids or our teachers built and families experience, that is there interest out there? Because I wouldn't want to find out about the interest again, like in July, then, but if there is interest, what is that? So we're going to be sending out a survey here in the coming weeks. Like to get that information back before the spring break, to be able to know what that is. We, again, 100%, we want everybody back face to face. Okay? And we're coming back in the spring, I mean, not just the spring, but next fall, doing this 100%. Who I am and what I am is that I believe that we're best when we have that relationship side by side. Okay, but we also know that there's family situations and opportunities that we just want to experience. And so if we'll be sending out a survey, getting that information together, I'll share those results back with you as we see what that is. And really no commitment to what those grade bands are. Right now, we're just exploring what the interest is and try to get it to and then with that said, we I think pretty much wrapped up all of our winter sports. Last night, boys basketball team fought to the end, came up short by 4 points. Really proud of our basketball program making it to such state. They did a great job last night. The girls basketball team finished a little bit earlier, but we've seen the conference awards with that. We know that our wrestling team individual went on, and there were several state champions there. Our swim team broke 6 records, long-standing school records. And so, and then we know our bowling team advanced to the state tournament as well. All of that is to say that in the midst of all this craziness, our kids are itself. And just really thank you to our coaches, our families that have participated in those programs, because I know that there's been personal sacrifices you had to make to try to not get quarantined, to not have those things happen. But it just really, it was nice to be at the basketball game. And see a lot of people there, see again, things are starting with trending back to the way things we remember. And so I appreciate everybody continuing to wear masks, continuing to do things to continue to drive our numbers down, so that one day we can be back to the way we remember. Now, I conclude with that.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much. Brief reminder that we will have 3 very good college meetings prior to our next scheduled workshop, including the financial amendment conference. I want to also take this opportunity to reach out to those who are seeking this office in the election this spring. I know that when we were running in the last election, members of the board being gracious enough to reach out to me and to the other candidates to invite us to meet with them, to have lunch, have coffee, have whatever, talk about what it's like from the board's responsibility. And I can't tell you how impressed I was that you all exercise in that. And I have been returning to that. I haven't met with Mr. Heiss yet. But I've invited each of the candidates We all look better off. With that, we stand adjourned. All right. Thank you, Dr. Cruz.